I won't hold back no more. Let's give it up for the wonderful AC Jackson, everybody. Let's give it up.
Hello. Keep it going for Dennis. Give it up for yourselves for coming out. It was looking there for a minute like it was just gonna be me talking to an empty room, so we can't do it without you. We appreciate it. So we're officially out of tax season. We're done with that. Yeah, happy to have that behind us. I was talking to my parents the other day, and my mom said she was thinking she wasn't even gonna pay taxes this year, in like protest for everything that's going on with the country. And it caught me off guard because I identify as a socialist on a good day and an anarchist on an angry day. And I never expected my mom to say something more rebellious than I did. Apparently tax evasion's where I draw the line. I don't know. I'm 33, and my birthday's next month, which means I only have a couple weeks left to get crucified for speaking truth to power. Because I missed the 27 club, but the 33 club, even more exclusive. It's only got one member so far, but we're still talking about him over 2,000 years later. He even has Super Bowl commercials now, which I'm sure he'd be thrilled about and definitely doesn't go against the teachings in any way. Oh. Yeah, the irony's not lost in me that if I were to ever write a joke that would piss people off enough to want to crucify me, it's that one. There's nothing Christians hate more than a heathen telling them that Jesus wouldn't like their behavior. They tend to get real mad. I don't know. I play a lot of video games. I have been told I don't have to say that out loud. And I was thinking about why I enjoy playing them so much, and I realized it's because I get to experience things that I wouldn't get to in real life. You know, like, I'm never gonna punch a god in the face, or rescue the president's daughter from zombies, or work a job that pays a living wage. Yeah, I don't know. I truly believe that hobbies shouldn't have an age limit, but I have noticed now that I'm in my 30s that video games aren't necessarily designed with me in mind anymore. Like, I was playing one the other day called Persona 5, where you play as a high school student, and it's like part life sim, part dungeon crawler, and part of the life sim element is that you can date someone. Like, you could find a romance partner. And so I chose, the person I was gonna pursue, and on one of the dates, she said something like, well, I just graduated middle school, right? That didn't feel good. I didn't like that. Decided to stick with the dungeon crawling after that. I don't know. So I was doing surveys on my phone the other day, and they always ask you your marital status. They'll be like single, married, divorced, etc. And I saw one that said it was single, married, or refused. And I didn't realize that incels were a big enough demographic to justify their own category now. I don't know. Speaking of incels, did you all know that Ben Shapiro has a rap? Yeah, Ben Shapiro has a rap, and in it he references WAP, and I don't think he gets to do that. Because he did he hated that song. He did a whole video just ranting and raving about it, and at one point in the video he says something like, and I talked to my wife, who's a doctor, and she said that level of arousal is unhealthy. Which I thought was a lot of words to admit he's never given his wife an orgasm. It sucks that Ben Shapiro has a wife. I feel bad for her. Like, imagine that conversation from her perspective. Like, her husband's just ranting and raving about this song, and at some point he stops and goes, and besides, that's not even how vaginas work, right? Because you're never wet. And she has to just be like, yeah, no, that's because Cardi B has a problem. It's definitely not the fact that you're a fucking weasel. Saw my first Cybertruck out in the wild. And I decided that if men driving a big truck is to compensate for having a small penis, Men who drive a Cybertruck are compensating for a Ken doll situation. That or it's just really messed up looking. It's like a pigtail or it's got an angle in it. Just, if Elon Musk didn't have as many kids as he did, I would assume he had a messed up junk situation going on. But I guess it could be messed up and like still function. Like, I imagine it looks like a witch's finger. It's all knobby and green. He ruined Twitter, and I refuse to call it the new name, because if he could dead name his own children, I'm gonna dead name his stupid vanity project. Fuck that Nazi. There's been a lot of discourse about like him doing the sick hail and like what that means, and I don't know. To me, it just kind of breaks down to that old expression: like if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. You're probably dealing with a duck. And if that duck proceeds to do the Nazi salute 2 times on a national stage, you're dealing with a Nazi duck. It's not a lot of wiggle room. I don't know. I think we need to make the Nazis bad guys in movies again, because there's clearly people that need a reminder. But I think they should be in everything. Like even genres they don't belong in. Like, oh no, they met the love of their life, but she already has a boyfriend. But it's okay, there's still hope, because that boyfriend's a Nazi. Or ragtag group of teenagers need to get together to save the teen center. Who's trying to shut it down? Nazis. And I think we need to go back and retcon too. Like no more metaphors. Like they're not stormtroopers. Those are space Nazis. No more Death Eaters. Those are wizard Nazis. And that one actually wouldn't be that hard of a jump due to J.K. Rowling's shift. I was scrolling through threads before I got up here, and I just kept seeing a bunch of like, hey, we hate J.K. Rowling now. And I was like, God, what did she do this time? Apparently she celebrated like some anti-trans thing getting passed. I don't have a joke for this, so I'm gonna move on. It's a bummer how quickly TV shows can age poorly. Like, you know, Friends has a lot of gay panic jokes. How I Met Your Mother has a surprising amount of transphobic jokes. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is about how cops are good. I don't know. That's not even actually why I brought up Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've been watching it recently because it's a guilty pleasure at this point. And Captain Holt gets kicked off of Twitter because they think he's a bot. And when they try to reestablish his account, they're like, oh, well, we have a lot of Nazi stuff to deal with. And now Twitter's owned by a Nazi. So that joke did not age well. Dennis was talking about words that are hard for people to hear on stage. I think Nazi is probably one of them. I hope I misunderstood, but I did like a bunch of those jokes the other day, and I got off stage and I heard somebody go, wow, he sure used the N-word a lot. No, just absolutely not. That's not the same thing. You do not get to start calling Nazi the N-word. That's not something we get to do. And as a white person, I get to say it. No, I hated myself for saying that. I don't know. I went on a really good date the other night. It was in the video game Stardew Valley. I don't know, it was really romantic. I think it counts. She forgot the other 10. Yeah. You know, I like games like that, like Stardew and Harvest Moon, because you build friendships by giving gifts, and a lot of the time the animation is just holding a piece of produce above your head, which creates in the reality of the game a moment where the silent farmer from the edge of town just runs up to you holding an egg or a piece of corn, and then just walks away. The one I used to play when I was younger, Harvest Moon, the person I always wanted to marry, her favorite food was eggplants. And this was before the eggplant emoji meant what it meant. So as a young child, I was just chasing a woman down holding an eggplant, not understanding the implications. Man. I've been thinking about going back to school lately. I was talking to my parents about it. I told them I wanted to study philosophy. And they asked me why, to which I said, exactly. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. Also, probably don't have to say that out loud. And starting a Dungeons and Dragons campaign is a lot like dating, in that people agree to meet on a regular basis to see how something plays out, and 99.9% of the time it either fizzles out after a session or two, or it lasts just long enough to be heartbreaking when it ends sooner than you wanted it to. I say that because I moved here for a relationship that didn't work out, and after we broke up, I also got kicked out of my D&D campaign. There's a non-zero part of me that's more upset about that than the actual breakup. Played that character for 2 years. I only dated her for 1. All right, I think that's where I'm gonna end my set. Thank you all for being here, and I'm excited for the rest of the show.